This is Irontrader, and this is midday trading. So we're going to take a look here first at Tesla. We're going to look at gold, silver, and then we're going to look at the XLE, which is a big oil ETF, and then UGA, which is a gasoline ETF. Okay, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy something stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have one of my favorite trades, Tesla. Okay, now this also describes what I always say. It's not the news that matters, it's the reaction to it, okay? You can see right here we had the earnings. Now, the earnings were not good. I mean, they have declining sales, declining revenue, declining right across the board here, but look how nice this jumped up. Now, just remember, Tesla is not just a car company, it's an AI, self-driving, they got SpaceX. There's a lot more to this company than meets the eye, okay? So we had this really nice, good run up. We had this sideways action, and then I always was saying, what are we gonna do? We gotta get through this 293.59 here, and then Friday we did it, okay? Now we gapped up, okay? And now look at here, how we just gapped up here now. Now the 8 days is curling up here, 21 days curling up here, looking very nice. But now you can see where it went, right in here to that 100-day at that 325.39, and she's pulling back. Now, if we can get above that level, okay, then what we'll do is we're going to be looking here, top of this candle right here. You're looking at 328 level, okay? So what was very important about today's high, okay, was at 322.21, was if we look at the bottom of this candle right here, okay? So you have 325. That's going to be very, very critical because this is where it came down, rallied up, and then you broke that support level, okay? So always watch here to the left of the chart, okay? So 325.10. Then we'll come up top of this candle here. You're looking at that 328.89, and we just work ourselves all the way on up here. Okay, you're looking at 342. We come up here, top of the candle. You're looking at 354 level. Then we start bringing these price channels here right across. That's what your first one. You're looking at that 367 level. We just bring this channel right across. We're looking at the top of this candle. Okay, at that 380, and then we just keep right on rolling. Now, we do have a gap here, okay? So when we look at this gap, this is 394, okay? Then we look at the bottom of this candle, you're looking at 401.34. So we have a gap, and we have a fill, okay? And then we'll come on top of this candle, you're looking at 384, and then we just bring the price channel all the way on up. Okay, so we're looking at that 419.99 level, and then we'll come up top of this candle. You're looking at 439, and just bring it right on up here. We have 465, and then 488.54. These blue lines here are just price channels, and they work out very nice. See, as this is selling, okay, you can see how it broke the price channel and is coming on down. Well, on the other side, now when this takes off again like it's doing now, it leaves all your resistant levels very, very easy for you to see. And all they are just tops and bottoms of candles. Very, very nice. But we have to get through this right here, this 325.39 level, okay? So we look at this bottom here, that 325.10. It's going to be very, very crucial because that was the breakdown of this chart, okay? So always remember that. Now, we left a little bit of a gap here, okay? So you got today's low here. We had 311.50. And we looked at the top of this candle here. We had 307.04. So we have a gap. And then we have a fill. And then we're going to have this 200-day at 293.59. Then we have the old 8-day here sitting at 287.86. Now, a lot of times here when you have these rallies up here, you want to sell some of your stock into these rallies, okay? So always look at that. Now, most of the time I like a market that opens way down, then there's a buying opportunity to go long. But this here is where you want to sell some shares or start shorting a little bit of shares because this is a big wild move on up here. The question is now we have turnaround Tuesday coming. What's going to be the reaction to that? Okay, so on Tesla, just watch that 325.39. We have to close above that. Then we just follow the candles all the way on up. On the downside, we want to watch key level, which is at 293 at 200-day, and we want to watch that 8-day. Now, we're only sitting here at 66. That's plenty of room to run. You're not overbought by any means like we were here. Okay, not at all. And the green is over your red, so actually this is looking pretty good. It's just the 100-day is going to be the old roadblock. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. Okay, here we have gold, and here we have silver. Now, an easy way to trade gold is with the ETF GLD. Easy way to trade silver is SLD. You don't have to buy the actual commodity. A lot of people want to buy, I got to buy the actual commodity. I'm going to fill my house with gold. That sounds good, but you got to pay a 4% fee to buy it and a 4% fee to sell it. So you're already down 8%. Now, gold had a really, really nice run, no question. Silver, not so much, okay? Now, here we're looking at here at the chart. So I always look at gold and silver and these two commodities as like a fear factor, okay? Oh, the market's tailing off, gold is running up, silver's running up. It's almost like a fear factor. So there are people out there who just trade gold, just trade silver, nothing else. I'm the kind of guy I trade everything, okay? So that's why I like the ETF, the GLD, and the SLB works out very, very nicely. Now, you can see here where we ran all the way up here to the top. You had this high of 34.48. But if you bring the candle right across here, you had 34.42, okay? So this is really where your main resistance was. Now, this was just a little pop and a drop here, but you can see that topping tail, okay? So you always want to level that off, and that's where your resistance area was. Now, you can see here how it fell right on down. Friday, it kind of held that 8-day and the 21-day, and then today she's fallen off here. However, you got to look at today's low, 32.11, but then you want to go right over to the bottom of this candle here, 32.09. See right here? So right here, this is a possible double bottom situation that could take it up and rally up a little bit higher. Okay, I'm not saying that it's going to hold, but if it does hold, this is a double bottom situation. Now, if it's lost, we're going to look for that 31.51. That's that 50-day, and that's very, very crucial, and I'm going to show you why. Okay, so as you can see how this is rolling all up here, okay? So once we got above this 50-day, even when it sold down, it held that 50-day simple moving average. So even if it falls down here and it comes right down to that 50-day, 31.51, you got to give it the benefit of the doubt that it's going to hold until it doesn't, okay? Now, if it doesn't hold, then we can come down here to the bottom of this candle, okay? We're looking at that 29.83. Then we can come down here to your 100-day at 29.66. But always give it the benefit of the doubt because it's held it here in the past. And that's what we're looking for, okay? So this is on your downside, 31.51 if it gets all the way down. But watch this double bottom. That's going to be very, very key. And it could take it and rally it right back on up here, okay? Remember, we have a good rally here, but one day does not make a market, okay? So on the upside, this is what we're watching. We're watching that 33.17. There's your 8-day. And then that 22 is 33.22. That's going to be very, very strong resistance. If we get above that, we'll come to the top here. You're looking at 33.52. Then we can come over the top of this candle here. We're looking at that 34.22. Then we're going to be looking for that retest there at 34.48, which brings that right across here, okay? Almost like a double top situation. But let's just see how this all shakes out. I don't really care for this because you see we have a high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and lower lows. That's never good. But let's just see if it comes down. If it holds that 50-day, then that could be a buying opportunity to take this longer, okay? Up high, I should say. Now, you can see here how this RSI is kind of falling off the old cliff here. And same way with the MACD. Now, silver had a decent run, but it was really nothing like what gold was doing, okay? So we had this low here of 26.50. We came all the way down here. On the bottom of that candle, you had a 29.56, okay? So we never really retested that 26.50 level here, okay? So now, we ran that up here, and we have this sideways action kind of a going. Now, everything is jammed up right here, okay? It's an ugly-looking chart, 32.71, and we had that 32.78, and then we have this 50-day up here at that 33 level. So everything is pretty much jammed up sideways action right here, and it's holding this 100 SMA here, which is key at the 32.23. Now, if this is lost, then we're going to be looking for this 31.49. That's going to be a 200-day, and then we just follow the candles all the way on down here. Okay, we have 30.86 level. We have 30.51. We'll come down to the bottom here of this one. You look at 29.56. And then we have 29.25 level. That's going to be very key. This was just that spike down. So if it spikes all the way down again here, we can have a retest of that at that 27.54. But realistically, this is where your support level is going to be. See this little price channel right there? See how it came right across? That's it. But right now, we just have sideways action. So upside, we have to get and close above that 50-day at 33.03. Then we'll look at the top of this candle here at 33.48 and then 33.83. That's going to be your big retest, which is basically just the top of this candle. And then if you can work yourself up, always look to the left. Okay, right there, you're looking at 34.24. Then we'll come up the top of this candle right here. You're looking at 35 flat. Then we come up at 35.49 retest area. But right now, this here it's just a sideways action. It's not breaking up. It's not breaking down. You know what I'm saying? It's where you look at the gold situation here, you can see here how nicely it ran up here, and you can see where the breakdown is. There's really nothing here. It's just a sideways kind of an action, okay? So what you're really watching is a close above that 33.83. Then we can have maybe a retest of that 35 level. Or if you have 31.49 level, that's you lose that, then we can have a test of the bottom of this candle at that 29.25. Okay, let's take a look here now at the XLE, which is a big oil ETF, and UGA is a gasoline ETF. Okay, this is my favorite trade in the big oil. Okay, simple reason, it pays about a 3.5% dividend. That's number one. And it's got everything in there. Exxon, Shell, Schlumberger, Chevron, you name it, it's in here. Okay, and that's the beauty of it. All right, so it's like a one-stop shopping. Okay, so you can see here we had this gap up here, went into the 50-day, but could not hold it. So what we're watching is obviously is today's low. There's your gap, 84.13, and then we'll look to the top of this candle right here, looking at 82.84. So your gap and your fill, and then we come right below this, we have this 81.57, your 8-day, then we have your 21-day at 81.14. Again, we just have this basically like a sideways action, doesn't really know what's going on. You got the tariff situation, you got people talking about recession, but then yet we have this summer driving. You got Memorial Day here. I know the town that I am is already just jammed. You got to pick your times, when you're gonna go, okay? So if we can get back above this, this is what you're looking here for your upside, okay? 85.31, there's your 50-day, 87.15, and then we have your 86 level, okay? Now, I'm not expecting this oil to run really what you call high there today. You're sitting at 62.32 level here. I think you can get up to the 65 there. But just remember, T-Man doesn't want that $70, $80, $90 oil. Plus, you've got to figure OPEC is dumping oil on the market here. So it's very kind of a strange situation because you're not going to go out and get a pile of people drilling oil here at 62 bucks, okay? That just doesn't work like that. You have to have that higher number to make it worth their time. Okay, so bottom line, just watch that gap that fill, but your key level here is going to be at 81.57 and this 21-day at 81.14. Upside, it's very easy. You want to go, first of all, is the 50-day, 85.31, that's your resistance. Your next level, 87.15, and then your 200-day is sitting at 88.86. Now, we crack above that. We have this gap right up here. So this is what your target is 90.34, and then here's your fill. At the bottom of it, 92.98, and then we can have your retest up here all the way at 94.82 and possible 97.92 levels. So always watch these gaps and these fills. They're very critical because those, as it rises up here, that'll be the target, okay? And then once we start getting into the gap, the bottom of that candle will also be the next target. Okay, RSI here looking good, on 54, plenty of room to run. Same way with here on the old MACD. Now, here's a UGA. This is a gasoline ETF. Now, first I just want to come out. This doesn't do much volume, okay? So just remember, you're not going to go in there and buy 10,000 share kind of a situation. It doesn't work. I chisel at this. I'll take 500 shares, 1,000 shares, 1,500, something small. And then when I sell it, I weed out of it, slowly, okay? I'll sell 1,000, Then I'll sell 800, I'll sell, 12, something like that is how I trade the old gasoline. Now, you can see here, I just filled up here at Sam's because of Memorial Day's coming right around the corner, and it's really good. $2.69 a gallon, so that's very reasonable for the gasoline at this time of the year. Now, we left this gap up, so it gapped up. So you will look at the bottom of this candle, 60.45, there's your gap. And then we looked at the top of this candle here at 59.69, there's your fill. And then we have this 50-day, 59.53. But really, if we lost 58.36 level, and then we had this 58.19. So this is actually not looking really too bad, but you have a lot of resistance you're coming right into, 61.79.6. This is your 100-day and your 200-day. Now you can see here how this is just gap and go because she went, it's recession, nobody's going to be driving and blah, blah, blah. That's all bullshit, So actually right here, we're sitting at the top of this candle, 60.96 level here. Today we got as high as 61.12 level. So there's your gap situation. But now all the way up here, if we can break that 100 and 200-day, then we're going to come right to the bottom of this candle here at that 64.42, and then the top of it at 65.46 level. Then we can just weed yourself all the way on up here to your 68.15. But just remember, this doesn't do a whole lot of volume here, so that's what we always have to pay attention to so you can get in and out of the trade, right? So RSI here, not looking too bad, 57. Your green over your red, and seasonality is definitely in play for gasoline, and it's in play here for the oil. But let's see how she all shakes out. Okay, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here after your pit close, and we'll take a look here at Bitcoin, at crude oil, at natural gas, and we'll look at the indexes, and then we'll see what else we got here going. Remember, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.